Hey, welcome. We're going to do a chicken and spinach skillet pasta tonight. I think I've made it before, but I haven't made it for you before, so hopefully this will go well. I've already got some stuff going here because we're kind of running late tonight, getting stuff done. So I've got the skillet already heated up over here with 2 tablespoons of oil in there. You can see that smoke rising. I'm going to turn that fan on a little more because the skillet is nice and hot, so when I put this chicken in, it's going to go and splatter and make all kinds of noise. So what we're going to have is about 2 chicken breasts cut into 1-inch cubes there. I've got some onion, about a cup of onion. I've got about a tablespoon of minced garlic. We're going to have some cream and some mozzarella cheese and some fire roasted tomatoes and salt and pepper and chicken broth and pasta and spinach, of course, in the chicken and spinach skillet pasta. So anyway, let's get going. Whew. Gonna be smoking here in a minute, so I'm gonna throw the chicken in. And it's already spitting and all right, so got the chicken in and quickly browning. This pan is already nice and hot. I'm going to throw in, just a sprinkle of kosher salt. So just about that of kosher salt. I'm going to throw in some black pepper. And about a teaspoon, so here's a teaspoon size, but of Italian seasoning. You see that in the light? Italian seasoning, which is just a collection of Italian seasons. As they call it, Italian seasoning. Oregano and basil and thyme and all that kind of stuff. And if I can get that, see, it's brand new, and holy mackerel, should have had this off beforehand. Holy cow. Doesn't want to come out. And you know, when you pull it off, it's going to go produce like a bag of potato chips or something. So what you do is on the counter so that I don't make viral history of. All right, so I'm not going to worry about measuring, but I'm going to put in a good amount of, that's probably more than a teaspoon, I'm sure, but that's okay. Now I want to mix that all around. Make sure everybody's got all the equal. I'm going to turn the heat back up some now that it's not spitting so much. And we're going to wait until all that gets browned evenly on all the sides. So we'll be back when it's all brown. All right, we are at the point of the chicken being evenly browned. I double checked that I cut a couple pieces open and it's brown all the way through, so not pink all the way through. I don't want to get it too overdone because it's still going to do some other cooking. Now I need to take it out of the pan. Notice I'm using a slotted spoon so that the oils and stuff stay in there because we're about to put the onion and garlic in and saute that in that remaining liquid. So I don't want to scoop out all that. I just want the chicken. And all right. So now the cup of onion goes in. And we'll stir that into the juices left behind, and we're going to let that cook for 2 or 3 minutes. And then we will stir in the garlic. So let this cook. All right, we now have the onions browned and softened. I already added in the garlic so that we weren't just going in and out of scenes here. So the garlic's been in for a minute or two. You can smell the garlic. It smells wonderful. It's also getting cooked in here. So now we're going to add the remaining ingredients for the time being. We're going to have 2.5 cups of chicken broth. So one, 2.5. Going to add in the diced 5 roasted tomatoes. Going to add in, now the pasta, they said you could have just added, I could have added in uncooked and let it simmer and do its thing during this. But again, running a little bit late, I went ahead and got the pasta already cooked because you just want it to be softened in there. So we're going to stir in the pasta. And that was about 1/2 of a box, so 8 ounces of, I used rotini. They suggested penne, but I used rotini. You can use whatever pasta you want, I guess. But, okay, we're going to let that turn that heat up just a little bit. Let it simmer just a minute. This is where they also said to put in some red pepper flakes. My wife doesn't like red pepper flakes because she's crazy. So I'm not putting it in. I'll put it in mine when I eat it separately. So I'm gonna put a little more salt in and a little more pepper in. So again, just I don't know however much that is, maybe 1/2 of a teaspoon. Do that. A little more black pepper. Mix it all around. And then the chicken goes in. All right, we're going to cover this and let it simmer for just a couple of minutes. Again, if it were uncooked pasta, you'd let it cook until, or simmer until the pasta is cooked. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We're just going to do it for a couple, 3 minutes because the pasta is already softened. We just want to get it all heated up together. Then we're going to put in the cream and the cheese and let that all melt together and get that going. And then the spinach comes in the very last. So we'll be back when this is simmered for just a few minutes. All right, it has been simmering for 2 or 3 minutes. I just wanted to get everything kind of warmed together. So as you can see, it's good and hot. Now the last 2 things we're going to, well, 2 of the last 3 things we're going to add in. So the recipe calls for 1/2 and 1/2, but I wanted something a little creamier. So I'm actually just going with full cream. We happen to have that in the refrigerator. So 1/2 cup of cream, or you could use 1/2 and 1/2, which is what the recipe actually calls for. And a cup of mozzarella, grated mozzarella, and Okay, just want to make sure just before I go any further, we're going to mix that all together. Get all that cheesy goodness melted in. Mixed. And now that it is in and melted, I'm going to remove this from the heat. We're going to stir in our spinach, which is going to be a 5-ounce bag of spinach, which ounces. So we'll mix that whole thing in. And holy moly, that's a lot of spinach. All right, we'll mix all this together, and the spinach will wilt from just the heat of all this stuff. So we'll keep mixing it in. Spinach definitely loses its volume as you heat it up. As you get it simmered into things, it starts looking less and less like it's going to take over the planet. All right, so all that mound of spinach is suddenly not looking so threatening, is it? It's not going to get us. We're going to get it because we're going to eat it. So this is kind of a semi-healthy meal. The cream, of course, not great, but beyond that, chicken, spinach, tomatoes, pasta. It's not a bad meal at all for health-wise, and pretty simple to make. Okay, spinach is now fully wilted. Let me get that mixed in. So I'm going to grab a plate or two. Well, two, since I'm presuming my wife would like some as well. And this all out of the way, so and now we'll scoop this onto the plate. And we'll make a second plate. And then the last touch is sprinkle. This is cheese for enough for all of this. So this is not how much cheese is going to go on one plate. So it's a 1/4 cup of finely grated Parmesan cheese. So we'll just take some and do that, and do that. Gotta add the cheese in because, you know, cheese. All right. there's our plate of chicken spinach skillet pasta. I think that's how I say it. Chicken spinach skillet pasta. So now, of course, you gotta see. Hopefully, it came out right. Get a little bit of pasta, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of spinach, cheese, a lot of spinach. Okay, good. That works. I'll add a few red pepper flakes to mine, but it's fine just like this. So there you go. That's our last meal for the evening. We're going to be making some more stuff, hopefully later this week. I've got several recipes I want to do. So okay, I'll admit it. I didn't realize we had a bunch of onions my wife bought for groceries. So I bought 2 more bags of onions. So one of the recipes coming up will be French onion soup. Because we got lots of onions to use up. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Try it out, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.